They got the fucking intro going.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And then... Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Select Start Network live. And with me, as always, and I love this part, get ready out there in the control room because I got slates. With me, as always, I have my co-host, Colin Burns, and I'm Justin Larche.
How are you doing, Justin?
I am fucking excited. Do you know why?
Because we get to do this thing live without all the hullabaloo of last time?
Yes, 125% yes. So, also, as an added bonus, we're going to talk about this a little bit. We're on two different platforms live. We are live on twitch.tv/SSN Larche, which I now have to turn back into Select Start Gaming. I changed that, and I changed it back, and I changed it again.
It's been confusing for your fans.
I know, right? And also on, obviously, youtube.com/live-select-start. So to make things a little bit easier for my old man brain, I'm going to have Colin on chat for youtube.com/live-select-start. And then I'll be on the Twitch chatting away with the peoples.
Yes.
Perfect. And also,
nice
if we miss anything, guys, don't worry. We do have the wonderful control room also looking at the chat. So if there's something that needs to be brought up or if someone has a question, we'll have the voice of God with today is by the power of Ruth.
Yes.
So she'll let us know if anything's going down. It's going to be great.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to talk about this because this is something that I can't believe actually worked. Now, everyone knows by now, whoever's tuned in, how we did our setup before.
Yes.
Initially, we had the setup of just a normal recording broadcast. We would have it to go into the edit suite, and we'd have someone run every 15 minutes to the goddamn room, shake the mouse to make sure that it wouldn't shut down on us, and then we could record. The issue we had with that is once someone logged us out. That was great. I love that. Whoever did that, I still fucking... You're dead to me.
We lost everything, thanks to you.
That was terrible. One of our first fucking Let's Play attempts. It was great. After that, we had... What was the other one? Something else had happened. So every time we would go put it on the external, they would drop frames.
Yeah.
So like every now and then we'd be talking to them and they'd be like, and today on the news, we'll say, it's like today on the news, and then it's gonna be like, and that's why I hate black people. Like it would just cut sporadically, and it's like,
I don't think we ever said that. I don't think those words were ever said.
Liberty definitely said that. That was one of their outtakes that we had to remove.
Oh yeah.
You know how he
Liberty
can be.
Yeah, I know how Liberty can be. Liberty's just Liberty.
He's a saucy little bitch.
Saucy. That's one word to say. Racist is another, but whatever.
it's my PG.
So you go to a Klan meeting, it's like, oh, you saucy guys. No, they're fucking racist.
Holy shit. But yeah, and then after that, we ended up by having I wanted to try a live broadcast of the podcast, obviously. And I was talking with Brianna Underwood, who had helped me to no end trying to figure this out. We tried using the really expensive equipment here at the academy, at the college, and it wasn't really working.
It was complicated, and it was real hit or miss with what we were trying to do.
Exactly right. And then I had dreams of aspirations of like having lower thirds and a bunch of shit happening on screen and whatnot, right? Which we couldn't do at the time, due to the fact that I thought I could use expressions to put on our lower thirds and stuff. That didn't work, unfortunately, because it's a movie, like it's an After Effects file.
Yeah.
So it wasn't gonna work properly. So that was something. And then we would have these double back systems where like sometimes shit would like echo, right? We'd hear someone talk and then we'd hear it again type of thing. So a bunch of bullshit like that. And then finally I'm like, you know what? Yesterday, I'm like, I gotta take a look at the fucking computer, like at our setup, because something doesn't make sense. I kept thinking to myself, how can that TV program right there, which it's black for us because I didn't plug in the right HDMI output or whatever, but I'm like, how is it that we can get the footage from the control room onto that TV? I'm like, something doesn't make sense. There has to be a middleman. There has to be a converter. And I'm like, and it can't just be an SDI into an SDI. It doesn't make sense. And it's not going to be your basic RGB or RCA cables. I'm like, it has to be HDMI. Oh my God. If it's HDMI, oh my God.
You have one.
Yeah.
And here we are today coming to you live with that very fucking simple way of doing this.
Beyond fucking simple now. Literally, because now we don't have to do the overly complicated remote get-up system. We don't have to worry about that. We can have our lovely people out there in the studio being able to enjoy all this shit. The one lackluster thing now that kind of bothers me is I want to have I want to have the crew shot again. I miss the crew shot. Because I like the idea of like, oh, like let's like if Ruth or Chase, whoever's behind the cameras, has like an opinion on something, they can just go ahead and take a look.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, we got Matt. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, she wants me to type in your guys' info.
Okay.
Cool.
Also, just one minor little thing. Did you put together the lower thirds with the names in that?
Did I fuck something up?
You got my Instagram wrong.
But when
you
I
got it wrong.
But when I go to, is it Colin C. Burns?
Yes, it is.
God damn it! Then who the fuck's Colin Burns?
I don't know. You just gave that random guy's Instagram out to the world. It's not me.
Technically, he's been getting plugs for weeks now, months now. Because I'm pretty sure
God,
that's the link
man.
I used in my in the description for the
my
YouTube
God.
field.
I'm gonna look this guy up.
Well, Colin C. Burns, I hope you.
Yep.
I'm sorry, and Colin Burns, I hope you enjoy the cheap plug you've been getting for the past 6 months. If you got any follower bumps, you're welcome. Okay, it's all done by me. Oh my God. Hey, Chase, you trying to figure out which HDMI has to go in?
No, we're trying to put information in the description.
Is someone asking?
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're good. We got it.
Awesome.
Apparently, you've been giving free publicity to some dude who runs marathons and has a lot of cats.
I thought that was a little weird when I looked it up today. And I'm like, why does Colin have marathon old man runners? I'm like, whatever. I'm not gonna question. He's a photographer.
Oh my God! You couldn't have gone down and just realized that there's no photos of me, there's no photos of anyone I know, there's no photos of you guys, nothing like that.
It just shows how much of a good friend I am.
Yeah, clearly you just assumed the best thing, oh, Colin does marathons and shit. All right.
Well, you're a healthy-looking young man. You
Don't do marathons. I can barely run a mile.
Holy shit! Who's that?
Leah.
Hey,
Leah!
Leah, come on over. Look, we got special guest star, my best find, Leah.
Oh my gosh, can I go on camera?
Yeah, for sure.
Gosh, I'm so sick, but hi everyone.
Okay, something fucking going on?
Yeah.
What the fuck's happening?
I don't know, everyone's sick.
Fucking, you're sick, Amy's sick.
I know, I told them all to
Mac's
stay
sick.
away from me, but here I am.
Like, guys, stop
I
making
just
out
got
with each
over
other.
it, please.
So what are you doing here?
Just, putting together my production binder, just to extra
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, some of that shit's due tomorrow, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What the fuck's due tomorrow?
I'm not sure if it's due tomorrow or if it's just you have to have some progress done tomorrow
I'm
or
pretty
something.
sure it's fully due tomorrow.
Shit. Well, I gotta go.
No,
I gotta scramble to do a location survey.
Well, we're gonna end this real
I
short,
heard your
guys.
voice so far away, I was like, I have to come sit with you.
Well, thanks, Leah.
Well, bye,
Thank you.
Bye, that's
Good
fine.
seeing you.
Wait till she closes the door. I'm gonna talk so much shit about her.
Oh my God, I can't fucking stand her. Bye.
Oh my God, what
fuck?
a bitch!
I love that.
Oh my God, that's one of the easiest fucking jokes to do. It's just that comedic last minute door closes and you just see something.
Oh my God, can't stand that fucking person.
Yeah, it's always the same fucking thing every time, so I love it. But anyways, besides talking about that and realizing that Colin and I might have some work to do for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I'm acting in one of them tomorrow too.
Oh really? Shit.
Yeah.
Whose project are you working on?
Jefferson.
Oh, the old
it's-
man one?
Yeah, the old man one. Nuno's playing the old guy, and I'm playing the friend who's.
Oh my
I have to play the straight man to the comedic Nuno. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
I watched a couple Chris Farley movies in preparation to see whatever David Spade did in those movies to react to Chris Farley.
Yeah, David Spade's was always like the dry,
The dry, sarcastic straight man to whatever the hell wacky shit Chris Farley was doing.
Nice.
So that's what I'm going to have to do for this one. So I'm looking for inspiration in David Spade.
Which is not something you'd normally hear.
No, you would not ever hear that.
Oh my gosh. Well, enough about that. Enough about our interesting lives, we'll say. We're going to talk about a bunch of nerd stuff. It's going to be great. We're all friends here, so it's going to be nice. We have an in studio. Two of them. All right. It's in what's the name of the Shockstock.
Shockstock.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Film Fest, yeah.
That is wicked, man.
The action sequence that was cut from the syllabus, that was one of them, and the other one was the Locker project.
Oh,
That's fucking
nice.
amazing, man. I can't wait. That's one of the things that I remember you showed that very brief clip of here's what I want to do for my action thing until I realized, oh wait, I can't have guns.
Yeah.
I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, that is it's so good. And then the other one was obviously your locker assignment, which I think, again, a lot of people might not have realized the production value that went into that.
Yeah.
And like when I told you in person, I'm like, Ricky, like that is classic Italian cinema. Like the lighting, the way the angles are and stuff. I'm like, my God, dude, it was so
Did a
fucking
hell of a
good.
job on that.
Yes, let's turn that camera on. Yes, let's get a little
Get
spotlight
good shot
on
of
Ricky.
Ricky. Next George Romero over there.
Wait, camera is...
Huh? Hop on stage.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
fuck yeah, bro.
Hello.
My name is Ricky Parody.
Sticker, yeah.
Oh my God.
Here we are.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Here,
All
take
right, Ricky.
Good.
Give a quick plug. Yeah.
Yeah, go
Plug
for
to your
it. Go
YouTube
for
channel,
it.
man.
What's going on? My YouTube channel is Bluntzilla Video, same as Instagram. I like to make movies.
Yes.
Awesome, man. Yeah, dude, we're gonna get you on.
Yeah, I'll be on this.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's one of the things
Absolutely.
I'm very much looking forward to.
Hold up my sticker.
Yeah, you got your sticker right there.
These are available for purchase for $17.95 each.
Limited edition.
Shameless plug.
Handcrafted
Love
stickers.
it.
Yeah.
That is
All
awesome.
hand drawn.
Hand colored in Microsoft Paint.
He's using that MS Paint, bro.
I did, man.
I love it.
Paint.
The laptop mouse coloring it.
Oh my God, that is amazing. But it's one of the things I realized, man, in this program, we have some talented motherfuckers.
We do.
And I'm very
We
happy to be
do.
able to work with them.
Absolutely.
And then we have Colin, who's away from us. You are like
Yeah, oh,
completely
yeah.
separate.
Yeah, last semester we all had together. We had all our classes together,
Yep.
and everything was perfect. Then people dropped out, so they switched it all up. Now me and Nuno are all by our lonesome in most of our classes, away from you guys. So we were in some classes with some good people. Ricky, we had classes together.
There you go.
Yeah, we got some good people in our classes. It's just so different being away from you guys. It's
Me too. I'm in that. I'm in the Collins section.
yeah, Ruth, our voice of God here. Ruth
Voice
has
of
some
God,
classes.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm joining this conversation.
She's just talking
She
all
wants
by
to be a
herself
part
in
of
the
this.
control room. Ruth, you had your chance 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now?
I feel so far away now. That's why.
Right? It's a little messed up.
One day we'll have a behind-the-scenes camera again.
She's like Robin Quivers from Howard Stern.
yeah.
Hey, Mac, I know that the Elgato just fell. Can you just make sure the stream's still going?
I will.
That's the only thing I'm
No
worried.
one will notice.
Does it still say that it's streaming? Should be like a highlighted picture on the Elgato.
Yeah, you're good.
Awesome. All right,
Yes.
cool. Anyways, all right. Topics time. One of the things that you had brought up, my dear friend.
Yes.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week.
We did not. Mr. Danny Boyle, who directed Train Spotting and Slumdog Millionaire and The Beach, is now directing the next James Bond movie, writing it and directing it.
Oh, he's actually writing it too?
Yeah, apparently that's how it started. Like, he had gone to Sony with an idea for a James Bond movie. They loved it and hired him. And it was literally just that simple to get the role of a James Bond director, apparently.
Jesus. Well, I mean, it's also Danny Boyle. Like,
Yeah,
it's
he
makes
he
sense.
knows what he's doing.
So okay, the more you've been saying that, do you think that some of Boyle's classic colleagues are going to make it in? Do you think like maybe we'll see like an Ewan McGregor?
Maybe.
Well, I think that'd be
I
pretty
don't-
cool.
Yeah,
Right?
I think so. But like, I'm also hesitant to say that because Sony would have so much control over James Bond
Okay,
that like
so
they wouldn't want to like bring everyone in.
wait,
like
so
that.
pause. Wait a second. You're saying Sony, but isn't it MGM that owns the Bond franchise?
No, it's Sony. Sony's been making the movies for the past.
Am I that old and crazy that I don't remember these things?
I'm confused now as well. God damn.
Because wasn't it MGM, like MGM Grand, whatever they're called, that
Yeah.
had?
I've been fidgeting with it. Is it alright or is it birdies?
Yeah, something like that. I keep forgetting who.
Metro Golden Mayer.
Yeah. I think that's the ones.
Oh yeah, they are the ones who make
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah, maybe I was completely wrong with Sony.
Well, because I know MGM.
Sorry, Danny Boyle. Sorry, Sony. Sorry, Daniel Craig.
Because I'm from all mistaken. I know MGM was in like trouble like financially a couple of years ago, or
Yeah.
maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago now. So like, it wouldn't have surprised me if Sony would have bought the rights for Bond because it's one of the biggest fucking franchises in the world. Everyone recognizes a goddamn Bond film, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
It's a big franchise, and Sony would want that, given their kind of what do they have these days?
Sony.
Yeah.
Sony is all up right now in Spider-Man,
Yep.
especially because of the reboot, right? Homecoming,
Yep.
and now Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
That
Venom.
animated.
Venom.
Yeah, Venom. Yeah, I'm still I am still worried about that one.
Yeah, I keep seeing trailers for it, and I don't know what the hell is. What's the point? How are they going to play off just having Venom as a character without having Spider-Man in there?
Yeah, because like first, like I understand that he's an anti-hero, but the problem with it is Venom started as a straight-up villain.
Yes.
He was a part of Eddie Brock, who was this psycho who was obsessed with Spider-Man. That's why Venom went into it. Like they merged together, and then you want to kill fucking Spider-Man. It gets everything to do with Spider-Man, and you're going to completely remove that one like huge plot point.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it. And the thing is, I'm sad because I like the casting of Tom Hardy as Venom. That's a cool idea. Tom Hardy's a hell of an actor.
Yep.
And I just don't see it working. And like looking at the trailer, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that I don't know what the story is.
Yeah.
But like looking at it, I'm just thinking, what the hell are they doing? What the hell is going on with
Like
this?
who is going to be like? I know we talked about this already with Lib, but who is going to be the villain? Who is it?
Yeah, exactly. Venom is a villain, so like, how are they gonna? What's the story there? What the hell is happening?
Well, that's what I'm worried about. So, is it going to be one of those, like, he's going to have a complete redemption story right off the bat? Or are they going to do, like, literally... I would be okay with it if Venom was just a straight-up monster throughout, like, the majority of the film once he's revealed.
Yeah.
And then, like, a little cameo at the end of Spider-Man having to face Eddie Brock. You know what I mean? But the problem, again, with this... Eddie Brock didn't become a figure in the Spider-Man universe until Spider-Man graduated high school.
Yeah.
When he was become a photographer over at the Daily Bugle.
Yeah. What if it's like an internal struggle movie? What if the entire movie isn't Venom versus something? What if it's Venom versus Eddie Brock?
So you think
what
it's
if it's Eddie Brock like trying to like control this or get away from Venom as it's like taking him over and becoming more a part of him?
So this would be like one of like the classic like Wolfman story.
Yeah.
Or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, and all the action would come from him either like Venom is like controlling him but making him do terrible things, so he gets the cops after him and all this stuff in government agencies.
I like that idea.
Maybe that's what they're doing with it.
That could be a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel safer about it now. I feel a little bit happier.
Yeah. Okay, but anyways, the Bond part. So Danny Boyle, as a lot of people know, loves drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest plot points in his movies is drugs. He also did the one with James McAvoy. I can't remember the name of the movie right now.
Danny Boyle, James McAvoy? What
the
hell?
Right,
Oh
right.
God.
And it's, I think it's another drug kind of movie. But anyways, with that in mind, with the, obviously, history that he's had, what do you think... Oh, so he's also did Happy Feet. Or no, that's not Happy... That's
George Miller.
I was about to say George Michael.
George Michael directed Happy Feet and then moved on to Mad Max franchise.
I mean, I'd watch a George Michael Mad Max. A lot of dance, a lot of singing, a lot of violence. Sure, why not? Oh, my God. Anyways, what do you think the story's going to be with this new Bond film?
I have no idea. I don't know if they're going to go completely original. I don't know if they're going to go drugs or that. Or maybe they'll be like...
Well, when's the last time they had a drug-driven Bond story? That would have been what? That would have been back...
Okay, I'm looking at the list of the movies now.
That might be what? Timothy Dalton days?
All the old ones just blend together for me. I'm not even going to lie.
I'm
looking at the old ones.
And
I'm just
stuff.
like...
I'll say this. I'm not a fan of the Bond movies.
Okay.
I respect their stamp in history, but...
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. No, I get that. I respect that.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to think. Like, I think the last time they may have done anything with drugs might have been Timothy Dalton, and it would have been way back when like Benicio del Toro was a henchman in a Timothy Dalton film. I think that's what it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Benicio! I want to watch whatever one that is, just so I can look and be like, oh, there's Benicio. Benicio.
But it's also like that. Timothy Dalton was like the precursor to the James Bond we have now, where Timothy Dalton's Bond was like this much more violent, more like in your face realistic Bond.
Yeah.
Versus like, because like before him it was
as opposed to parasailing down an avalanche.
Yeah, with like the Union Jack on the fucking parachute. But yeah, like before him it was Roger Moore, and he was a goofball, especially in his last outing as James Bond.
Yeah.
Like he just was super exaggerated the entire time. So they tried to make him more gritty and real. So they bring Dalton in. Dalton does 2 movies, and then they drop him because they finally get Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Who was supposed to be, like, way back when, even before he became Bond, he was supposed to be Bond for those Dalton films. And then he was Bond for, like, what is it, like 7 films?
Brosnan?
No, not 7. Maybe 4 or 5.
Damn, I'm blanking
GoldenEye, The World Is Not Enough. I got a 4 from Tyler. Okay. So what is it? So it's GoldenEye, The World Is Not Enough,
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day, Tomorrow Never
Pierce Brosnan
Dies.
did 4 as Bond.
God, there's so many dies and tomorrows and days. The goddamn title.
Okay.
So we got
Okay, I'm looking at the list right now.
All right. Wait. So let me guess. I want to guess. So we got GoldenEye. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yes.
Is Die Another Day one of them?
That's one of them. Is that the next one, though?
Oh, you want in order? Oh, Jesus Christ! Okay, GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, blank, Die Another Day would probably be the last one.
What's
Yep.
the one called World Is Not Enough?
Yes,
that's right.
is. The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah, that was in like 2000. That's Denise Richards too.
Oh my god! That's when she's like something Christmas or Christmas Jones,
Oh, God.
and like fucking Pierce makes the comment of like, and I thought Christmas only comes once a year. So creepy, Jesus Christ!
Oh, my God.
Now you know,
Only came once a year.
yeah, it's terrible.
That's such quintessential Bond jackass thing to say.
Think about it though. Do you think in this day and age, now coming up, do you think they're gonna get, especially with the Me Too, like hashtag Me Too movement, they're gonna put that in a fucking Bond
Oh,
film?
hell no.
Right?
They're
It's gonna be-
kind of getting away from that whole side of Bond in the past bunch of movies anyways.
Like he could still be a romantic,
Yeah.
but I
they took
don't
that
think he's gonna be that womanizer that he was before.
Yeah. Well, they kind of explained the whole... one thing I like about the new Bond movies is how they kind of explained the whole womanizing thing
Mm-hmm.
by having him actually fall in love with fucking Eva Mendes. No. Whatever. Not Eva Mendes.
Moneypenny.
Yeah,
Not Moneypenny. Oh my god.
What was that actress? Eva Green.
Eva Green, so-
Green.
yes.
Him falling in love with her and then her dying.
Yeah.
And then he just like starts fucking running around women because he's like so heartbroken and
Yeah.
he lost
And then
all
he had
his
the
life.
he had the slight redemption time in Quantum of Solace when Olga.
Kirilenko?
Like, I think-
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Kurilenko. Like she like kisses him once at the end of the film, and she's like, "I wish I could like fix you or repair you," whatever the fuck she says.
Yeah.
But that was it, and after that, it was just like Bond's just this broken dude who will just sleep with anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They took like I like how they take these like quintessential things about him and then actually explained how he did that.
yeah. Well, it's also like they kind of touched that once with Lazenby. Lazenby did. He was the one and done James Bond,
Yeah.
and it was, I think if I'm not mistaken, him. It was in Her Majesty's.
Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Is it Secret Service? Something like that. It's some kind of weird name. Man, Bond titles are sometimes really bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
one
there's-
called Octopussy, so.
No, see, Octopussy makes me
Octopussy.
laugh because they knew what they were doing with that one. There's no way to get away around that.
Isn't there a character named Pussy Galore?
Yeah.
Yes, there
Yeah,
was.
it's one of that in Oscars with a lot of vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of vagina.
Yep. Oh my god. But yeah, so
Dixie Normus. Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh my god.
there's a fucking in the GoldenEye with Fenka something, I can't remember her name anymore, her last name. Girl who played Jean Scott.
Femke Jensen. Yeah.
Is it Jensen? Okay. So Femke Jensen. Okay, I like it first of all.
Oh
It's a
my-
little
I just
early
looked
for
at
this,
her
but
name.
thanks for the close up
I just looked at her name. Oh my
on the
god.
merch. God damn it. Thanks guys.
Xenia Onatopp?
Yes, Xenia Onatopp.
What?
That's-
How is that a name? I don't.
Because Bond. That's why.
Because Bond,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, it was that kind of dumb stuff.
Uh,
But so I think they're still gonna have stupid names. I think with Boyle they're gonna touch. I think it's gonna be some kind of drug, like a drug trade thing. It has to be that or a pharmaceutical company, something big like that.
Yeah.
That like tries to rule the world through this. Well, then it kind of goes into
Yeah.
the Kingsman Golden Circle territory.
Yeah. The one thing I don't want them to do with it is like them go big plotting, ruling the world and all that, because that was one of my gripes with Spectre, was how it just kind of like they kind of shoehorned in, oh, this dark organization has been behind everything this whole time,
Yeah.
and it just like felt really out of place.
Well, they tried touching that a little bit with Quantum of Solace, but then it felt like in Skyfall they just totally dropped it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they tried to bring it back with Spectre, and they're like, "Oh, you thought the Quantum team was the bad guys? No, we were controlling the Quantum guys." It's like,
It's like, okay, just pick a bad guy, pick an organization of
Yeah.
bad guys and stick with it.
the only reason they did that was because they like finally the Broccoli production company finally got the rights back to the Spectre organization, which was controlled by this other dude that worked with Cubby Broccoli like years ago, and then they had a split. And then this is kind of fascinating, this part where this other dude, which I can't remember his name, but he went out and did his own actual spin-off of a Bond film.
Oh yeah, that American thing. That was
No, it wasn't American. No. And he even got Sean Connery to play Bond again.
really.
Yeah, and it's either
Damn.
I don't think it's Thunderball, whatever it's called.
Never Say Never Again.
Yes, that's it. Never
Yeah.
Say Never Again.
Yeah, because he stopped playing Bond in '71, and then he came back in '83 for
Yeah.
that 1 year after Niven and Lazenby and
Yeah.
Roger Moore.
Yeah, and then he came back and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the original Bond! Like you've never seen him before." And it's like, "Yeah, never seen him before because he's out of shape, he's balding, and he doesn't."
He was baldy in the other ones. He just wore a good rug the other times.
He had an excellent toupee before, but in this new production, toupee wasn't looking so great.
They couldn't get a good enough toupee.
It wasn't in
Budget
the
problems.
But yeah, it was one of those moments where like he came back and it's like,
Yep.
you don't need to be there.
Another rumor with this new Bond movie, it's
Yeah.
going to be Daniel Craig's last.
Well, I
Apparently.
mean, they said that for Spectre. Well, they said that like for like Skyfall, and then Spectre happened.
It was between Skyfall and Spectre, and like then they signed him on before Spectre. They signed him on for 2 more movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that Spectre was the first of the last 2. So this
Yeah.
one is
How's this?
he's done.
Coming down onto Marty here.
So we're.
Sorry.
It's weird hearing the crew,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, quick tip for the crew, guys. You're going to have to lower your voice just a little bit, okay?
What a camera one do.
Love you guys. We appreciate you.
Hey,
Everything
Matt,
you do.
you're going to have to lower your voice down just a little bit, okay?
Sorry.
That's all good. I don't care. It's all good. It's just made me laugh. But anyways,
Would you prefer this?
this is why you don't talk to the fucking crew. They get sassy.
Yes, exactly. This is our show.
But yeah, so if it is Craig's last fucking outing, which I'm fine with, to be honest.
Yeah, like he's had some good ones, but he's run his time. He's
he's
getting
in-
of the age where we can understand he doesn't want to do the
He's in
action
his
parts
50s
anymore.
now, right?
It's rumored that it is his
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is his one and done now.
Yeah.
Like after this, he shouldn't make another one, and they should give it out to someone else now.
Yeah.
Problem is who would become the next Bond?
So who would you like to see in the next Bond? Well, because one name that there's the obvious names that you see everywhere. There's Idris Elba is the name that gets thrown around.
But even Idris Elba's getting up there in age.
he is
Like he would be another one and done kind of Bond if they had him at this point.
Yeah. One name that I keep seeing around for like people wanting him, but I personally don't see is Tom Hiddleston.
He could play the suave, classy Bond. He wouldn't be this rugged like beat him up like Craig is right now.
Yeah, I guess.
He would go back into maybe more of the Brosnan, Connery style of Bond.
Yeah, I still just don't look at the guy and think Bond. I don't think of him as being that tall, dark-haired, handsome, just kind of having the Bond look about him. Nothing against him as an actor. I love the guy. He's fucking perfect Loki.
Well, I mean, most Bonds also have like the broad shoulders and
Yeah, very
like
true.
that chiseled like chin type of stuff
Yeah.
going on.
Very true.
But
There was I forget who it was said. I think it was like a
put it down, Tyler. I don't understand.
Talk about the stuff on the table.
Oh, you want me to talk about the merch?
Yeah, we said that.
Oh, this is why I need a knife. Okay, well, we'll Ruth in a moment. Okay, God, we'll do it in just a moment.
I'm not sure who it was. I think it was a producer on the last couple Bond movies mentioned one and only Harry Styles as James Bond.
Harry Styles,
Yeah.
please no.
It's Harry Styles.
Who the fuck is Harry Styles? Harry Styles was one of the guys from One Direction. Yeah, and he was in Dunkirk. He's only done one acting role ever in his life, and it was in Dunkirk.
But people say that he did an excellent job.
He
in
did do an
Dunkirk.
excellent job. I went out of that movie like actually impressed, like thinking, "Holy shit, this guy's."
He's young. That's why. That's
like-
why, Ricky. They would want Harry Styles to come in.
Idris Elba.
Idris
Idris
El-
Elba, well, yeah, like we just said, Idris Elba would be a good one. Except he's also like he's probably close to Daniel Craig's age. It
Yeah,
wouldn't
he's
surprise
not
me.
much younger than him.
So like again, he wouldn't be those guys that'd be able to, like he's not one of the guys that'd be able to do it for a very long time.
An actor who doesn't typically fit the mold, but I think would do a decent job and isn't too old. Damian Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah,
The only problem is they'd have an issue with him is that he's a ginger.
yeah, Ginger Bond.
Yeah, like
So they'd either have to just have the jokes of it, there being a ginger James Bond,
Yes.
or they could just like dye his hair and give him a tan.
Gingerbread Bond.
Oh, there's Ricky right. He's like, I'm gonna walk away with that.
Oh my!
It's one of those
goodness.
moments. Like I love Damian Lewis. He's probably one of my favorite British actors. I don't see enough of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it would be, and like he already portrayed that he can do pretty much any accent he wants. Because in Saving Private Ryan, he had was it Saving Private Ryan? I think he had an English accent, not like a normal, like a North American accent.
Yeah.
And then he did another one where he was just speaking as himself, and people were like, "Well, why are you doing an accent?" He's like, "No, this is what I sound like. Like there isn't a difference." Oh, it was also in Dreamcatcher, that terrible Stephen King movie.
Oh yeah.
Where he plays normal,
like
like
that
North
movie.
American speaking dude, and then the alien in his mind had the British accent.
The movie was so weird. It was so
That movie was not disgusting. Well, it's disgusting for a couple of reasons. But I mean, they had another actor I like, Jason Lee. Very realistic actor. But then he dies because he gets a slug shoved up his ass.
Yeah, which was just weird. Like, you can tell they were trying to make it freaky, and they could have, but it was just a mixed opportunity.
Yeah. But I mean, like, the movie itself, Dreamcatcher, was not like...
That's the thing with Stephen King movies. They're all real hit or miss, because people don't always know how to, like, translate the horror that he does well onto, like, being visual.
Well, think about it. So, really, in your mind, what is a successful Stephen King novel to film?
Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, that's a hard...
Can I chime in on this one?
Dude.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
man. This is all you.
Okay, so
Welcome back, Ricky, everybody.
I have to say, when it comes to Stephen King movies, I'll come over on
Yeah,
this.
you're right from yeah.
Take it.
Okay. This ain't gonna fall, is it?
They just hold on. Dude.
Okay, so the thing with the Stephen King movies, I'm a big Stephen King fan,
Okay.
big fan of the movies. One of my favorite but not most faithful adaptation is the 1990 It film. When you read that book though, it takes you to a whole nother place because it goes so much more in depth. And that new It movie pissed me off so much because my favorite character in the book was Mike. And they didn't even use him at all in the movie. There was one scene where he was scared shitless in the meat factory, and I was disappointed with that movie big time. Like, I thought the new Chucky movie was better than It.
I mean, the Chucky movie is still pretty good.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
I love Chucky. Don't get me wrong, man. But in terms of other really good Stephen King adaptations, Pet Sematary was really good. Shawshank is really good. Shawshank is a short story, like very short story,
Yeah.
and same with Children of the Corn.
Oh,
Children of the Corn.
that's with Christopher Reeves, right? Is it the Reeve one?
No, Christopher Reeve's not in Children of the Corn. The original. He may be in.
Maybe a remake of some sort.
I don't think so. I don't think Christopher Reeve's in any of them.
There's also that.
That's
other
Village
short
of the
story.
Damned. You
Is that
guys
what I'm
thinking
thinking
of
of?
Village of the
Yeah,
Damned?
the kids, or the kids.
Yeah, the Killer Kids. That's Village of the Damned.
Yeah.
There's another short story they just put on Netflix of Stephen King.
Is it
was a short
18,
story, 1920 or something like that.
Oh, 1922. I haven't watched that yet. I've seen it.
I've read the short story, and I'm really glad they made a whole Netflix
There's also
series
a
out of it.
Gerald's Game, right? Where his wife's tied up and the guy dies.
Yeah, that's
I've
coming.
never seen that
That
one.
either
I've read
just
that.
came out or is about to come out.
I think, yeah. So like in this one, Ricky, again, it's either another short story from Stephen King or it's one of his other books. But basically, it's like this wife who has like this intimidation factor. Thanks, Tyler. Who's like she has like issue with like intimacy or like being wanted to play rough in the bed.
Okay.
And like her husband's like, well, I got an idea, and like fucking handcuffs her to the bed. And then as he gets like starts to get rough and she tells him to stop, whatever, he has like a heart attack and dies off to the side of the bed.
What?
And then she is now stuck tied to this bed, screaming for help, but they're in a cottage like in the woods, and like she starts losing her mind and shit. And I guess at one point in the trailer, I don't know if this part's a part of hallucination or not, but like a wolf finds its way in the goddamn room.
Really?
And starts like it's like, is it actually eating the husband? What's going on? And then like at one point, like the husband hand like comes back up or something. But is she losing her mind? Who fucking knows?
Right.
Oh yeah, dude. If you get a chance, I think it's Gerald's Game. Check it out, man.
Okay, you just reminded me of something when you said that.
Okay.
One of the best Stephen King adaptations is Salem's Lot.
Oh,
Fucking Salem's Lot with
I haven't seen that one.
one of either Starsky or Hutch is in that movie.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm just trying to think. Maximum Overdrive, which is the only movie that Stephen King ever directed, and he says he hates it, but I think that movie's fucking awesome.
I mean, that movie.
it's awesome.
It's so cheesy, but it's so good
Yeah.
because of like, oh, what happens if the machines that work for us turn against us?
Yeah, I think it's like a good idea, and
Yeah.
like the scene with the electric knife is burned into my head.
Yeah.
Like, totally, man.
But the fact
Great
they had
film.
like the Green Goblin like on the.
I'm not saying it's a fucking masterpiece or anything, all right? But I'm saying I like it.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah, that Green Goblin thing, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like
But it's one of those moments where like also like then you think about like, well, what else like has he done? Like outside of the horror field, like Green Mile.
Yeah.
Right?
Good movie,
It's like
very.
amazing.
But you owe a lot of those two movies, like Shawshank and Green Mile, to Frank Darabont, who I don't know what the fuck did he do, direct them or write them, or he did something. I think he wrote the script or the screenplay. He added a lot to Shawshank because, like Shawshank, we said is a short story. One of the Frank Darabont's best things, in my opinion, is The Blob, the 1988 remake of The Blob.
Yeah, from the 1950s.
Yeah. It's like well, okay, there's the three main remakes from the 50s. There's The Fly, there's The Thing, and there's The Blob. The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, takes the cake for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then The Blob, and then The Fly. The Fly is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but the Blob, like the Fly, it depends on how you're feeling. If you want to be really fucking grossed out, or you really want to be just kind of slimed out.
So if I'm not mistaken, the remake of The Blob also took it to a bit more of a graphic look of everything, like the deaths on screen, where they like dissolved like into skeletons, like you saw like the meat and shit.
Yeah, because they had 30 years special effects, got way better, and like the effects from the 80s, like that's why I'm so anal about the practical effects, because I just love the way those effects look in those films that I love, and like I can deal with CG and stuff like that. My most hated CG element is fake blood.
Yes.
If you're gonna have someone bleed, show some
Expendables.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so bad for it.
I only seen the first one, and I was like, what the fuck is this? These are my heroes, my childhood heroes, and they're acting a fool. Like, I don't know. For me, like the Expendables, like I think that could have been so badass and just like amazing, but to me it was just, I don't know, watered down and shit.
Well,
like,
because they took the concept of like an 80s action flick, which was all 90% practical effects, right? Like the explosions, the gunshots,
everything.
Yeah, everything was practical. And then they took it in to the modern day, which was like, well, what's cheaper, blowing up a barrel or having a fake barrel go?
Yeah.
So like, let's go with that one.
But it's all in the way it looks, though. You know what I mean? Because you can tell when something's fake. You can tell when something's real, like really on the screen.
You can
and
tell when actors are reacting
exactly
to something that's real, as opposed to like
exactly
going, oh, and then like something in front of them happening.
All right. I've done my piece. I might be back.
Yeah. All right. That's youtube.com/BlundZillaFilms.
Oh wait. These are still available for.
It's still available.
$17.95.
Get them while they're hot.
Get them while they're
Fresh, so crisp.
Yes.
And now, yes, thank you so much. And speaking about some merch, because Ruth wanted me to talk about it so much, which I mean I'm very happy about. We are going to do a cheap plug here, and I want to see if they can get this timed up. Ooh, I like the slows. And look at this.
Yes.
These are so good. They're so pro.
So good.
This shirt, Booker Catch, and the one on the table that you can see, which is the classic baseball tee of Select Star Network, can be found at tpublic.com/user/Select Start Network. With that, we also have two new additions to the store. We have a silhouette colored of Daisy and a silhouette T-shirt of Princess Peach that you can find there. Once again, that is tpublic.com/user/Select Start Network. As well, if you want to support us on other ways, which I understand sometimes you can't afford it, like, subscribe, whatever, smash that like button, hit that notification. You'll be able to keep up to date with everything that's going on. And finally, if you do have money and you don't want to spend it on merch, you just want to do a couple of bucks, you can always go to patreon.com/Select Start Network. Anything you guys want to do helps. It's always greatly appreciated. And if we can get that graphic come up on screen, which I'm sure it has, thank you so much, guys. And we're going to move on to our next topic, which unfortunately I don't have it on me, but there is a video that I shared.
Yeah, what is this? You said like not to watch it.
Yeah, so okay, hold on.
Okay, I have the link in front of me. Do I?
Yes,
do you want
please go ahead, and I'll watch it. And I want you to describe to the audience what's happening. Ooh, look,
Okay.
they did it. I
Okay,
love
I'm
it.
gonna
They
give
did
like
it.
a narration thing here. Okay.
And also be honest, I may have forgotten what the
It's
fuck
a
that link is.
10-minute video, man.
You don't need to watch it. Oh, it's the cringiest things on fucking TV. This is by far the cringiest thing I've ever seen. It is from, so this video is from Laserbeam, a YouTuber. He's
Yes.
Australian, so he goes to Laserbeam. And he's been doing these reaction videos, and one of them is the cringiest thing you've ever seen. And I wanted to know what to you the cringiest thing is, and I think it might be this. It's from TLC, and it's from a program called Never Been Kissed, or something like that.
Oh, I've heard it, and they like get two people who haven't been kissed and get them to
Go
kiss.
ahead and watch that a little bit and describe what you're going to see.
Okay, people standing close to each other. A guy has to kiss. What the fuck? He just like walked up to the girl. He just like put his hands on his shoulder. He was like very awkward. And then he just like,
Yep.
and then he like turned his head away from her.
Oh, this dude comes back. By the way, if you guys want to watch along, just go to YouTube, go search Laserbeam, and it's cringy TV. I think it's what it is, or cringiest TV moments.
This dude is in a pencil suit dancing.
Yeah, it's Laserbeam.
What?
That's just what he's. Don't worry about Laserbeam.
That's Laserbeam?
Yeah,
Okay.
don't worry about Laserbeam. Just
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead to this whole thing.
So there are moments in there that, to me,
if I give you a kiss?
yeah, here it is.
You mind?
No, I don't mind.
Doesn't mind for the kiss.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I'm just not
Here it comes.
It's like
Describe
the
what you're gonna
cringe
see. Describe this kiss.
Describe this
Once
kiss.
it happens.
Okay.
in a horror movie where you know you're about to get jump scared. It's just the tension. It's like the cringe
Oh,
tension.
this guy's doing such a good job of narrating it. I almost feel like I don't need to. Okay, so very pretty girl. The guy looking at her. They're coming onto the set. Oh, his eyes are open. He didn't move his lips at all. Oh my god, man.
Here, now pause that.
Oh my god.
I watched this video and I literally sat there and I'm like, it was so painful to watch, and I wanted to ask you about this. What is one of the most cringiest experiences you've ever had?
Cringiest experiences
Yeah,
I've
I have a
ever
few of them.
had. Oh my god.
I have a few of them, but for me, like going up to the top now is literally watching that video, because watching failures in real life is something that I have a hard time accepting. Like to see, like, is this really happening?
I almost don't want to talk about them. I'm live on the internet. You're trapping me with these questions.
Look, I'll be honest. One of the ones that, and Ricky's here,
Oh my
and to
God.
me it was just cringy because for what was going on with Ricky, which when you were trying to get your video to work in Ryan's class.
I was pissed.
Oh, I know you were, and like,
I thought he was doing it to fuck with
no. So Ryan's trying to play a video, and Ricky, like, it's Ricky's locker one. It was his locker. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, everything's going fine. Like, oh, there's no audio. So he's like, hey, can you please stop this and try to figure out what's going on with the audio? He tries to play it again, doesn't work. Tries to play it again, doesn't work. And then finally, Ricky, you had enough. You had enough of this shit. You're like, can you just stop the video? And I was sitting there.
What I said, I was just like,
Oh, yeah.
press one button, just press the same one.
Yeah, like you had literally said something like that. And I'm just sitting there in class. And I'm like, oh, I want to leave.
Because I was so hyped up for people to see that, like to have more than just like my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And like when it wasn't working, I'm like, what, is mine gonna be the one that doesn't work? And I put all this time into it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, and I could tell, like, because you were so like emotional, like so invested into it. And I just wanted to be like, Ricky, it's okay. Just please, Ricky, stop. No, it's okay.
everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah. And then you got a video to work. It wasn't the one. It wasn't the one that you'd wanted, because the YouTube
Never
one.
sound,
Yeah. But like the main concept was all there, and it was still fucking amazing to watch. But it was one of those moments. That was one of those cringy moments. I'm just sitting there like,
What do you
Yeah.
do when you're in
Yeah.
that situation? You're just like screwed. You're like,
yeah, I get that 100%.
Oh my god. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of a lot of cringy moments right now, but I'm struggling to think of one that I can repeat on the air
Okay, so
without like embarrassing someone else or like revealing things that I've done that I just really don't want people to fucking know about. Oh my god.
So it doesn't have to be something in specific. Are there things that are?
Okay, I've introduced myself to a person who I had met several times before. I've done that a couple times. Like, oh hey, I'm Colin. How you doing? And they're like, I know. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
you're right. You're that person from that thing. God damn it. And then I just like can't talk to them. I can't look at them for the rest of the day because I'm just like,
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm a bad person.
I have a moment, something like this, where it's like, I can't remember what it was. It was like, basically I was talking to one of my friends. I had talked to them. I'm like, oh, like, how are you? And again, this is just throwing names out because they just came up to my head. Kassin and Alex. I'm like, oh, like, how's Kassin doing? And Alex was like, oh, like, we broke up like 2 weeks ago. And I'm just sitting there. I like the two shot guys. I like sitting. I'm like, oh! And I'm sitting there. I'm like, ooh, I don't want to be here anymore. This is terrible. Like, how do you get out of these situations?
yeah.
Yeah.
All I really find myself doing is just like apologizing over and over, like, I'm really sorry, and then like
you
trying
make
to
it
kiss their
awkward,
ass
right?
the rest
Yeah.
of the night.
But then it's like, obviously they know that you're trying to do that, and they're like, it's fine. But it's not fine. They're like, it's fine.
Yeah, you just gotta like leave it alone.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
cringy.
also Chase put up on the on our group chat, which Chase, if you want to throw that on, or whoever can, throw it out onto the chat for the public. Oh god, it felt like I kissed his teeth. Love at first sight. He found the video, I guess the actual video of it.
Okay, good.
Not just the reaction one, but like this. If someone could throw that into the chat for the world to see, that would be.
Yes.
I mean, you're punishing everyone, but it's a good punishment. So please do it.
Whenever I think of the cringing, it reminds me of like the early seasons of The Office, where all of everything Michael Scott does is just pure cringe.
They want to be like, just please stop. Don't do this. I'd rather if you
Lord.
stopped.
Ugh.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's one of those moments where I realize like there's no real clear way to get out of those shitty situations.
Yeah, no, you just have to accept it and move on with your life,
Yep.
and accept that you have royally fucked up.
Yeah,
That's really all you can do.
That's it. That's literally if I had to give any advice, it'd be one of those like just accept it, embrace it, call yourself the asshole, and move on. Because there's not much else you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to get my my docs up. Are you looking at the video?
Yeah, I'm looking at the video.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
All right, while I got my docs open, Colin,
Yes.
we're almost done.
What?
I mean, like the semester.
The semester. Oh my god. I know. Shut the fuck up. Don't remind
Isn't
me
it
of that.
messed up?
We're almost. I know. Like New Year's felt like a couple weeks ago. I'm not even
Right?
joking about that.
Like to me, legitimately, I know that we had a strike the first semester, and everyone said that went by fast. This feels like it went 10 times faster, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand it. Like literally, we're a month. Like from what Clarissa was saying, like we're not going into the finals. Like we don't have final exams.
Yep. So like our last class, I think is going to be like the 20th.
Yeah.
April 20th, something like that.
So
4/20,
we are
what is it?
legitimately a month away. We are 4 weeks away from completing everything for our first year in this program. Let that sink in.
We're getting real super depressing again.
No.
And I don't like it.
No, it's not depressing. Don't get me wrong.
It's
Like,
depressing. It's wholly depressing.
I mean,
Oh
it
my
just depends
God.
how you look at it. Just, you know.
I guess, but like as a person who doesn't yet have a job for the summer, who still doesn't
yeah.
know entirely what I'm doing, and like actually likes and enjoys being here and doing this,
Yeah.
it's sad for me. It makes me sad.
I know, no, baby, we're in the same boat. Because, like, I got to get a job after this, and that's going to be one of those moments where I wish I could, but, you know.
Giving the director some more room here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it, Ruth.
Love you, Ruth.
But it's one of those moments where it's like, I sat here and I'm like, okay, like we'll get to
counted
do
out
this.
your time.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, I still have like another 2 months or something left of like doing the podcast with a bunch of people. Maybe get a couple of Let's Plays in, which we're still gonna fucking do.
Yes, we still need.
Oh my God,
we got to get here and we got to like crap them all out.
Yeah,
like
has to be
we gotta
one just day of just fucking push.
Just 12 hours, just video game marathon.
Lock ourselves in.
Yeah, we pick like 6 games, 2 hours each game. Just get it all out there.
Yeah.
You can get like 3 or 4 videos out of 2 hours each time. We're good. We're good. We can get it done.
Oh my god, yeah, it's one of those moments where I want to do so much more, and it feels like we're not going to get to it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, to get out of the depressing talk, because I didn't realize it was going to get depressing until you mentioned some stuff. There's a video that came out. So I believe everyone should know this. There is a new Joker film that's being made, right?
Yes.
Being executively produced by Martin Scorsese, which,
What kind of movie?
you know the Joker?
From Batman.
Yeah, they're making a solo film with him, but not the Jared Leto Joker.
Can I get in?
Yeah,
Yes, please.
dude, Ricky, come on, man.
Rumored, the current rumor is to be starring Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
Okay, and here's what I have to say to this.
All right, I love this.
Okay.
I'm all fucking for this.
Yeah?
I'm okay. I didn't know that they were going to be doing this, but there's a graphic novel called Joker, and it's
okay.
by Brian Azzarello. No, not Brian Azzarello. That's no, it is. Yeah, is it Brian Azzarello?
Yeah.
Not The Killing Joke. There's another one, just with the art's by a guy named and the artist's name is Lee Bermejo.
Yeah.
It's one of the best Joker stories I've ever read. Like
Okay.
even better than Killing Joke to me. Like it's told through the eyes of one of the Joker's lackeys.
Okay.
And like this guy's like super into the Joker and stuff, and by the end he's like, this guy's a fucking asshole. He doesn't care about me and all this kind of stuff. So I think it'd be awesome. Like I love. I'm not a big fan of superhero movies, but if it's like a super villain and like there's there's like the Venom thing you guys are talking about. Like I would be into that as long as it wasn't, because make it like you could have like an old addict. Like they don't have to follow. Like they never follow the exact source material, but they could have like just for instance like this junkie in an alleyway, and then the symbiote or whatever comes down, crashes in, takes him over, and then it's just kind of him, almost like a Spawn type of deal, where he's kind of like lurking around and stuff, and does he get redemption or anything like that? Like I don't know, because he's a villain, right? Like you're gonna have a bad guy fight another bad guy, and at the end, it's kind of like Godzilla, right? Like they're like, oh, Godzilla saved us and all this. It's like in the fucking 50s, he wasn't saving anybody, man.
Japan.
Yeah, and that's one more thing I gotta talk about. I love Godzilla films. Not to get off the Joker thing, but if you're gonna watch Godzilla, watch the very first Godzilla it's in Japanese. It's called Gojira, and it's without the Raymond Burr added in stuff, and it is so much better. And quick little miniature rant: if you can't handle a movie with subtitles, you're fucked.
Yes. Thanks, Ricky. I'm telling you, like Ricky just needs to get on the show.
I feel
Ricky
like
does.
I'm fucking like the guy from the Home Improvement.
Yeah, really.
Howdy ho, neighbor. But yeah, so Joaquin Phoenix, potentially the Joker. Apparently, I heard rumors that it's going to be Matt Reeves who's going to direct.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
So
I'm looking at a thing now.
Yeah, Matt Reeves is directing Batman. And there is rumors that if Ben Affleck is not playing Batman in the movie, then he has Jake Gyllenhaal lined up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was also seeing rumors that John Hamm is also trying to get the role for himself because he suspects Ben Affleck isn't going to do it.
Batman, but he would be amazing as Bruce.
Oh yeah.
John Hamm, he'd be amazing.
I think he could do it. I think he could. There's one scene in particular that I'm thinking of from Mad Men, when he's kind of leaning in to someone who just went through this whole traumatic thing, and his way of like motivating her is to just tell her it was just like convince herself that it didn't happen, and he like leans into her and he goes, "This didn't fucking happen. It will scare you how much you can do if you just admit it didn't happen." And I was watching that scene thinking, okay, yeah, that's Batman. You can be Batman if you want. Yep, John Hamm, Batman. Ham-Man. Bat-Ham.
The Ham Man.
The Ham.
I'm Batman.
The Bat-Ham.
God.
You want Willem Dafoe as Joker?
No. As much as I would love it.
20 years ago, yes.
Yeah.
These days.
And he already did it. It was called the Green Goblin in Spider-Man. You look at that Green Goblin,
Basically.
how animated that fucking Green Goblin is, that was Joker.
Adrian Brody, Joker. I would love the hell
Wait,
out of
wait,
some
wait.
Adrian.
He has the
He has the physique, he has the look, he has the nose, he has this hair, everything.
Which Adrian Brody? Are we talking Adrian Brody pianist, or are we talking Adrian Brody in Predators?
Both. Get him out.
Adrian Brody, where he comes in and like he's like, I have this really nice voice. When he comes to Predators, we're gonna find these things and we're gonna kill
He
them.
could do it. He could do a good voice for it. Absolutely, he could.
Which, by the way, don't get me wrong, Predators was a good watch. It was a fun film. It was a fun film, Ricky. Oh man! Did you know, by the way, Shane Black's coming back to do the new Predator remake?
Yep.
Yep. Which apparently is actually going to follow the first Predator film.
Really?
So it's going to be like as if,
But like Superman Returns, but for Predator?
yeah, kind of. It's kind of like that. That's actually a really good analysis. Of
Ooh.
that comparison. Where if they do this, guys? What are you doing? Why are you putting me in the? Why are you giving me the OTS over Colin's shoulder? This is what I get for letting them do whatever they want.
Clearly. You said you said this is your fault. You said they could do whatever they want.
I know. I gotta accept this.
Wait, so we had Ricky in there too, so you had like
Oh Jesus! Oh my God! Do the circle. There you go.
That's all, folks.
All right, Ricky, you're getting in here for this. We're gonna have like the devil and the angel on Collins. Oh wait.
Okay, let's see how we can do this.
Yeah,
this
let's
is
see.
going to be complex.
I've lost rings with my baby.
Yes,
No longer mine.
exactly. We're done. This is.
By the way, I got another little thing you guys could talk about.
Okay, go for it.
Last time you guys had a show, I had messaged in. You guys were talking about. I think I said something about the Leprechaun films.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So-
that's what horror movie we were watching on.
Yeah, or like whatever movie.
Yeah.
But it's come to my attention that, or to everyone's attention, they're going to be doing a direct sequel to the original. Not with Warwick Davis playing. Not him. I forget who's playing him, but I don't know if there's a trailer or anything. Like I'm pretty sure this is official, right? Okay. I think it is. So I'm excited for that, man, because I love the Leprechaun films. I know they're cheesy as fuck, but
I mean, the first one.
It's what you grow up
cheesy,
with,
right?
Yeah, the first one's good, and okay. So last time you had said that Jennifer Aniston was barely in it. She's the fucking star. She's in it throughout the whole thing.
I don't know, dude.
When I was watching it, I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like fucking hitting the table. I'm like, but yeah. I guess that's her first movie. That's her first movie. Yeah. Drew Barrymore in Scream was in it for like 5 seconds. You might have get wires crossed or something. But fuck, a new Leprechaun movie. The last Leprechaun movie called Origins, it had a WWE wrestler playing him.
Wait, it wasn't Rey Mysterio, was it?
No, okay. They never even showed it. But that movie was the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen in the whole world. Leprechaun Origins needs the fucking master cut needs to be burnt alive, like burnt in a fire. I'm telling you. Look at this.
It's like the Brady Bunch.
See if I can fucking. But yeah. I forget where I was going with that, but the new Leprechaun movie, I'm excited.
So you think it's an actual official like Leprechaun movie is coming out?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's factual. It could be a lie, but it's not. I don't think so. I don't think Hollywood lies, do they?
No, what Hollywood
never lies.
Why would they ever do that?
Yeah, they never do anything wrong.
Harvey Weinstein's an angel.
He baptized my kid last week.
A Jewish man baptized my kid. Thanks, Ricky.
Kevin Spacey did mine.
Oh, God.
I haven't seen my kid in a while. I should probably go check on him.
Oh, my goodness. All right. No more. Oh, God. I don't even remember what the fuck. All right, so Joker going to be made. Again, one of the other rumors. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but one of the rumors was also Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be.
Yep,
Joker.
that was one of the rumors.
Because it's Scorsese was attached to it, right? So like those two go hand in hand. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think the type of Joker we would get with DiCaprio would be more, I think, the Heath Ledger type of Joker, which we've already had. I want to see a different iteration of it. Yeah,
I really just don't know what to expect. I'm just confused on like why they're doing this movie right now when they have the whole DC universe they're trying to build up right now. Yeah.
But my thing is, what DC could have the advantage of right now if they started this is they could do the Elseworld comics, right? Elseworld had like Batman by Gaslight.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing story.
You could also once you get that crazy about it, you could do the Judge Dredd v Batman comics, right? There's a Batman v Ninja Turtles, which I don't think will ever happen, but
yeah.
There's the Ninja Batman, like when he goes back in time, right?
It just released too.
Yeah, like there's that animated that just came out. But like with these Elseworlds, you could have so many different versions of the Joker, of the Batman, which will not be canon. So you could go fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah.
You could have that Batman that was supposed to come out. Fun fact, Ricky, maybe, and Colin, you guys might know about this. There was an original idea before Batman Begins, before Nolan came in, for a Batman series where Bruce Wayne and Batman was actually a homeless dude on the streets, where I think he was still a billionaire. Like at one point, like he watched his family get killed, but he lost his mind because of it, and then started wearing these rags and like running around killing people as this guy dressed up as the Batman. And that's how it was supposed to be. And like his car wasn't supposed to be this souped up thing. It was just supposed to be like this old beat 'em up vehicle. He would drive around beating the shit out of people and killing them.
Damn.
Yeah, and like he was this crazed fucking Batman. And apparently that was the one they were going to go with until Nolan came by.
It was like a Death Wish Batman, basically.
Yeah,
like
kind of, right?
Crazy fucking homeless.
Just not the one that just came out, which was apparently a giant turd.
I won't watch that bullshit, man.
It wasn't terrible. It was just like
you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it. It was a bore of a movie.
How long is it?
It's got to be an hour and a half, right?
Too long. The movie took like half an hour, 45 minutes before he killed a single person.
Is his name Paul Kersey in it?
Yeah.
So he still plays from the original.
That hurts my heart. They remade that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no necessity. There was no reason to have remade Death Wish at all.
It's because they've run out of good ideas and now they've just resorted to like finding classics and then.
Yeah. Oh, this made money. This was a cult hit. Let's do this. Yeah. And like, no offense to Eli Roth. Like, I loved Hostel. I don't know.
That's the reason I was interested in it. I was like, Death Wish
Wish
with Eli Roth, maybe he'll do it justice.
Didn't he do like a movie called Green Room that did also really well too?
Eli Roth did not do Green Room. No, someone else did Green Room.
Inferno.
Yeah, he did Inferno, yeah.
You don't like that? Then you wouldn't want to come do movie night with me, man. man. It's an ode to like fucking Italian cannibalism films, man.
Well, what's that film, Ricky, that came out in the 70s where they literally had to go to court and prove to them that the movie that they filmed wasn't
Cannibal
an actual
Holocaust, right?
Cannibal Holocaust.
Thank you.
Fucking directed by Umberto Lenzi or something
Yes.
like that.
Yep.
Amazing film. People, they get so butthurt about like movies because like stuff, you know. I don't want to go too in depth because I don't need PETA coming after me or anything like that.
Come on, dude. You were made for this, Ricky. You were made for this. These topics got passion.
I'm an opinionated person.
Yeah.
Careful with the mic.
Sorry, audio listeners.
Okay, so
Ricky, what do you want? Do you want chair?
no, I want to stand. I like standing.
There you
This
go.
is good because then I can come in and out.
Yeah.
What were we just talking about?
Cannibal Holocaust, butthurt people, movies.
Cannibal Holocaust is fucking amazing. There's a movie. People are so butthurt about that movie because a turtle gets killed and I think a bird gets killed. Let me tell you something. It's the fucking Amazon jungle. That is lightweight compared to what's actually happening out there. They didn't kill the turtle and then just fucking throw it in the woods, man. They killed the turtle and ate it. And you know, I'm not one of those like gun toters or anything like that. But I think if you are gonna kill something, at least eat it. You know, what I mean?
Use it. Like,
maybe
use
not
it.
a fucking rat in a rat trap or anything like that. But you know, Cannibal Holocaust. Or, sorry, Green Inferno is a callback to Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, all these really crazy movies that you don't hear a lot about. But they have such amazing scenes in them, and that's the crazy part. A lot of these movies from the 70s and stuff, people neglect. They're like, oh, fuck, that's old.
Yeah.
That's old. And it's like, well, you're doing yourself a disservice because almost every fucking classic movie on all these top 10 lists came from the 70s, came from the 60s, stuff like that. When you're talking about the 70s, think of all the good movies that came out in the 70s. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Taxi Driver, The French Connection, The Exorcist. Like, get the fuck out of here. There's the movies now, I understand that we have to adapt to this change and stuff, but the movies now are garbage compared to how they were back in the day. There's too much ad-libbing and stuff like that. They don't really, you know, and you can tell in these new comedy movies especially. Like, I seen a De Niro movie recently called Dirty Grandpa.
Oh, yeah. With,
Mind you,
Zac Efron,
it was funny, but to see De Niro like that, it was one of those cringe moments because it's like this guy is, you know,
Motherfucker was in Godfather 2.
He's in Godfather 2. He's in Raging Bull. He's in Taxi Driver, which is like my favorite. What do you got to say, Matt?
You want to put the mic down? No. Look down. Because of that. Hi, Colin.
Oh,
Hi, Justin.
Jesus Christ, you guys are the Brady Bunch shots, man. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Real quick, have you guys ever seen the Brady Bunch movie from the 90s?
Oh my God.
I have not.
Yeah.
I have not.
Man, you gotta watch it. It's good.
Is
Did
it?
they make a sequel to that?
They did a very Brady sequel.
Yes.
Where they go
and
to
then
Hawaii.
Yes, and when like they have like the original husband lost at sea.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that movie.
Yeah, and he comes back, but it's really just this. I forget who played it. He was one of the guys that was in. It doesn't matter. But anyways, like the guy that played the husband was just this greasy guy that ate mushrooms, and Alice actually ate mushrooms, and she went to bed in the fridge. Like, I don't know. I just love that kind of shit, man. So, like cringy movies have some merit to them sometimes, like the Brady Bunch movie.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot don't, you know. And just to give you an example, because, like, we haven't really had, like, conversations about the movies we watch and stuff. Like, I'm totally into, like, horror, exploitation, crime. I love mafia movies, you know. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's kind of why I came to this program, because I just wanted I wanted to have people to talk about movies with, you know what I mean? Because I came from, like, I think I said this to you recently, but, like, I came from a place, or from London, not like I came from a fucking faraway land or anything, but, I was the only guy that was big into movies, you know? Everyone else was just kind of like, movies, you know what I mean? Yeah. But now I'm like, I feel like I'm around a bunch of people that are in the same mind state. At least they want to be behind a camera. They want to be making shit. Yep. And it's fun. It's dope. And look at we're doing this. And, you know, a year ago, I would never thought about doing this, you know?
Would you ever, like, again, like, everyone here, would you ever thought you'd be doing a fucking podcast? You know what I mean? In a studio.
No.
With equipment and stuff.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've listened to this one. I've listened to almost all of them, I think.
I appreciate that, Ricky.
I listened to my favorite podcast, just to give them a plug, 22 Shots of Moods and Horror. Amazing. They're like 5 hours long. They talk about horror. It's like, you know, when you listen to people that are passionate about something, it pulls you in, even if you don't give a shit about the topic. So,
well, because there's a way that they talk. There's a certain interest in their influence with the way that they speak that you just have to be like, I might not agree with it, but motherfucker, man, you have like you said, like a passion, a vision with this.
Yeah.
That I have to sit down and listen.
Yeah, like with this new film that's coming up, the 5-minute narrative, like Tyler and Matt are in my crew and all that. I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be hard to hit the 5-minute mark. Like it's probably gonna be a 4:45 type one, just because. You know what happens, like basically my short film, not to give away the whole thing, it's basically this guy's night in a video store. Actually, you guys heard the pitch.
Yeah.
So fuck, you guys know what I'm talking about.
It's gonna be a good one, guys. I promise.
It's gonna be good. Yeah,
I kind of wish I was on your crew, and like this is no jab against Libs, but I've already done a lot of cheesy stuff. Like I've done like very exaggerated stuff with my own narrative. My mini narrative was something a bit more serious that I had with Colin and Lib. Yeah. I then did my locker one, which is pure fucking 90s cheese that I did for fun and shits and giggles. I did Libs. I acted in Libs, which was, again, another serious one. And then I had my own original script, like my short narrative that I wanted to do, which was a very cheeseball, like cringy, like you were talking about, kind of like cringy humor. But like when I heard yours, I'm like, I want to be on that fucking set. Like I want to be there with the camera and like have suggestions or just see the fucking process. Yeah. See that practical effect at its best.
Yeah. Like we really take our time with that shit, especially that was honestly the most expensive thing I've ever made. It was like $200, maybe close to $250. Just based off like supplies and like everything. Like I had to buy a little fog machine that I had like so much fog in that movie, but it wasn't gonna work. So I used it in one scene. But I gotta say this: I watched the one movie. I think it's Liberty directed it, and it's you
in the hotel room.
In the hotel room.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking insane. Because like that's like actually true. Like that's your fucking life. And there's like you see the toy. Yeah. And then you're just like crying, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like this is a fucking like passion project, man! Like, you know what I mean?"
Well, it's funny because the original, my original idea for a short narrative, a mini narrative, was pretty much what Lib talked about. So when Lib described his story, I'm like, "You fucking piece of shit! That is my story." But I'm like, I love it, so I'm gonna do for it. And the funny part, a little behind the scenes on that one, which made me laugh, was Lib was like getting the one shot, or like I think he was zooming out, and it was me sitting down crying. He's like, "Can you just look really sad?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I'm like, I'm gonna fucking cry. So I start crying. They're like, "Okay, cut. Can we do this again?" I'm like, "Okay." Get in the headspace. I start crying, get sad. "Okay, cut. Let's do this again."
It's like, think about your grandma dying or something.
like literally, it was pulling from that that idea, that experience that he had. They're having way too much fun with this shit. I mean, look, it's Marty McFly. So
that's hilarious.
What? Oh, Jesus Christ! Jesus! I'm talking about something serious. You're gonna put me on top of fucking Marty's body. Anyways, it was like kept on pulling up with like edit and.
Jesus, that's fucking funny.
Oh my god! But it was like one of those moments where it's like, okay, like cut and do this again, cut and do this again. At the end of it, Lib's like, "Okay, cut." I'm like, "Okay, are we done?" He's like, "Yeah." He looks at me, he's like, "Wait, are you crying?" I'm like, "Yeah, motherfucker. I've been crying for like the past 4 or 5 takes you've asked me to do. Like, I've been doing nothing but crying." He's like, "Oh, that's gonna look really good." I'm like, "You gotta give me a moment now. Like, I gotta like fucking recollect myself and not get into this headspace anymore." Because that's exactly what you said. Like, I had to find a moment of like, to me, in all honesty, it was being away from my family for that long. I can't even be serious with me being on Marty's head. Like, anyways, I had to get a sad spot. I found a sad spot.
Go back.
The other one that you guys made that you were in with Liberty, and you were like came in like this
the waterboarding
Cockney gangster, and you're like, "Hey, buddy," whatever. I was like, "This is fucking out of hand."
The hand snaps.
Yeah. I was waiting to see like stand at the doorway, flicking a nickel and like smoking a cigarette in the dark.
Well, like I really wanted to get like that dark like fucking like interrogation gangster scene. So that's what I wanted. And then the other fun part in that was technically Lib wasn't supposed to get waterboarded.
Right.
Just what was supposed to happen was Colin was going to pull his head back, pull off the gag, and then like force water down his throat. But Colin was such in the moment. He pulled his head back.
I forgot to take the thing off his mouth.
He forgets
so
to
take him.
Yeah.
You nearly killed him.
Yeah, legitimately.
Well, I got one more thing to say.
Go for it.
Before I go. So let's talk action sequences. This happened during the strike, right?
Yeah.
And
okay, let's get the 3-shot, guys. Let's get the fucking 3-shot.
Get the 3-shot.
Let's get the 3-shot. Come on.
That's funny.
Fucking Ricky's here. Enough with the Marty. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
You animals.
Yeah, so the strike happened, and we had the assignment, the action sequence, and I was like, "This is gonna be awesome, right?" So, me and Dave, who was in our program, the weekend before the strike ended, we went and shot his.
Yeah.
And then the weekend after I shot mine, and then when we came back, they were like, "Oh, we cut that from the syllabus," and we were like, "Well, what the fuck?" Right? Like, yeah, because Dave's. I don't know if you guys seen Dave's, but his is like very graphic. Like also, he got.
Is that
like,
the one with the lady waking up in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
He posted that one. Yeah.
No, that's actually a different one. This is the one where the chick wakes up, she's handcuffed, and then she runs out of the house, and there's like a fire breather and shit.
Oh,
yes. It was heavy duty, but I remember when we came back and they were like, "Oh, we're taking these out." We were like so pissed, right? Because we put a lot, like that knife throwing thing. I planned that for like 3 weeks, like putting a switchblade on a drill just to be able to have like a shot of the knife spinning, and like to not. And then when I showed it to the professors, they were like, "You can't show this here or whatever." And I'm like, "Why the fuck not?" They're like, "There's guns everywhere," and I'm like, "Oh, like I didn't know that was an issue." And Morgan was actually like, "Did you sign that thing at the beginning of the year?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, then you knew about the guns." And I'm like, "Fuck." So I could never show it, but that's like heavy effects too, and that took even more time to set up than the locker. You know what I mean? But the joke's on fucking Fanshawe because I got those 2 projects into the film fest. So.
Which something they could have been like, which they could have been like, "Hey, like we're supporting filmmakers like Ricky who's being entered into this, like into this."
Tammy and Morgan are really super. Like support, like Tammy reached out to the guys that run Shock Stock, but I'm already kind of chummy with them, so they're like, "Oh, we know that guy and all this shit," and they got in. So at the end of April, they're playing, and I'm psyched because that's why I came here, man, to use this equipment, make shit, and get it out there. Like I don't want everything to just be a project that gets thrown in the gutter or whatever, or just put on a thumb drive. I really want to get the stuff out there and make connections and stuff like that, and like that's why I really wanted to come here and just talk shit with you guys about like movies and whatever, and like making movies. We're all in the same stuff, so Tyrant over.
Once again, thank you, Ricky. Thank you. A round of applause for Ricky, everybody. Come on.
Yes.
These are available, $17.95.
He'll even autograph it.
You might not get one that's on sticker paper, so still $17.95.
So you got to get that connection that I got with Ricky. I got mine already on my phone. Look at that. Right? Let's get a good nice zoom on this. Yes. Let's get this nice zoom on here. Come on. Tyler, get that zoom in on this. Come on, Tyler. Tyler, come on. Come on, get that zoom in on this. Come on, Tyler. Come on, Tyler. Get that zoom in.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah, there it is. Zoom in. Get it closer. Zoom in. Come on. Get the zoom in, Tyler.
Get the zoom in now.
Oh, I got to say one more thing.
Oh, nice. There it is.
Back.
Thanks, Tyler. You're a sweetheart.
Okay, so
here we go. Get to the 3. Get to the 3.
One thing that I really dig about this whole thing right here, this podcast, is that it's like you're trying to actually do something with something. You're trying to like start, no pun intended, because of the name, but like you're trying to like start like a network or whatever, and like I think that's awesome because that's what we all want to do. We all that looks fucking crazy beyond the camera. We all want to like do something in this field. And like we all want it to cater to our own needs, right? Yes. Because everybody, like, say, like I don't know, like maybe you have aspirations to be an editor or something like that, and it's kind of cool to get those people's opinions, like especially when you're talking about making movies and stuff like that, because it all comes down in the edit, you know. Like rarely does stuff get filmed in order, which everyone knows and stuff, and you know, it's super cool to me to see this type of shit happening and like utilizing the sets and all that, because like this is all free. And like I did the open house yesterday, and I gave the tour of this studio 1,000 times, and I would say to people, "Oh, you can rent this out, and you can rent out these edit suites," and they're like, "Well, how much does that cost?" I'm like, "It's free. Everything is free here except for parking and water." Like that's the crazy thing, you know? Like I don't know about you guys, but parking at this school is a nightmare.
Yeah, dude.
Like honestly, it's heart attack inducing almost, because you get here at like 8, like just say you get here at 8:30 and you get that $4 spot and you're like, fuck yeah. But then like you're like, oh, I gotta go and get something now. Like now you're fucked. Now you're stuck to the school basically.
Either you leave and pay another $4 and hopefully get back in if you can, or you pay $12 for the rest of the day. And on the other parking, dude, we are on the same level. It's just
and
bullshit.
not to sound like a prick, but some of those parking guys are pricks, man. Because I've seen like tons of empty spaces and they won't let you in, and you're like, man, like I got class in like 30 seconds, man. Like, give me some help. But Yeah, going back to what I was saying, like the whole like creating a thing is awesome. I'm totally for it. You need to get stickers made. You can get them made at Fit. They print them here, but they're like $2 a page.
Yeah.
If you go to M&T Printing, they're like 68 cents a page.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk to you about that then.
Yeah, because you know, $2 a page is ridiculous. You know,
that's
and,
overpriced.
Like, you got wheels, so you can get to the place and get them printed. It's not hard. You just get your logo, print them up, bam, cut them. You can cut at Fanshawe. They have like the cutter, so you can cut them. They're not die cut stickers like the ones like the indents or whatever, but you know, for 68 cents, you can get 25 of them. You know, with those ones like on the phone. So it's cool. It's cool to like self promotion and like. Once again at Shockstock at the end of April, I'm gonna be like handing out stickers and shit, and like I got I bought like a bunch of blank VHS tapes, so I got a bunch like cases, all that shit. I'm putting the locker and the action sequence on a tape, and I'm gonna be handing those not to everybody. I'm gonna make like 5 or 10 of them and just give them to like the important people at Shockstock, the guys that are running it and all that shit. And it's cool, man, and it's almost like therapeutic for me to like make this shit, like these little stickers and just like little like fanzines and stuff. Like I've made quite a few fanzines and stuff. No one's read them because like who the fuck, like I wasn't hanging out with people that gave a shit about that kind of stuff. It was just kind of like, oh Rick made something, let me throw it on the shelf. You know what I mean? So it's cool.
Like, motherfucker, just actually pay, like please, like I'm giving it to you to read it. Yeah,
and like I think you could agree with this. One of the hardest things about being like a content creator or whatever you want to say is getting it seen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's no problem with creating the videos, it's just getting it seen.
In this day and age, if you're not doing what I'm trying to do right now, right? This production level, right out of the gates, if you're not willing to spend hundreds of, if not thousands of dollars on advertising, you are going to it's going to take forever. I've been doing this since fucking technically on this channel. I've been doing this since 2014. If really? Not, and before that, I had another channel that was doing this when I was 21. Like it's like shit takes a long time and a lot of dedication to fucking.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it took me 5 years to compile like almost 50 short films that were all fucking like super cringy to me now, but I had to go through that cringy stage and put in the time to be able to go, all right, this is what I want. Yep. And like if you watch my very first short film and then watch the action sequence, and it's the same thing, it's just with better equipment and more production value and all that stuff, it's night and day. So having the good equipment really does help. You know what I mean?
As much as I would love to be like, yeah, don't worry about it, just grab a webcam, grab a shitty mic and go at it for a podcast, it doesn't work like that anymore.
And people want quality. Yeah, exactly, people want quality. Like this is as legit as you can get. You know what I mean?
Like literally, this is like a over $100,000 setup that I'm using free at the school. Yeah. Like thank Christ. The only thing that's not theirs is the props, these mics themselves, and my Elgato and laptop that it's streaming off of. Yeah. Everything else is theirs, and I could never come close to being able to do this at home. No. Like the closest I've ever done was my drinking under the influence podcast. So it was called Podcasting Under the Influence. I got drunk beforehand or during this pre-stream, and then we would talk about shit, right? And what was amazing about it was like we had great audio, but people were complaining there was just this 1.3 shot that I had because it was just a webcam. Right. Like I'm sorry, I don't have a video switcher that can just jump in between everything. Right. Like now I could be like, go to 1.
Right. Yeah. There you
go to 2.
Like another thing that's cool about it is like with having like people from the program on, it kind of gives you a sense of like finding out who these guys are, because when we all first got here, it's like, all right, I don't know any of these fucking guys. Who are these guys, right? Yeah. Like that's how everyone is. Like it doesn't matter who you are. And then like it was weird because how they split the program like that. Like you got sent to a bunch of people you don't know. Well, not know, but you know what I mean, that you're not friendly with or whatever yet. And then the same thing kind of happened with me and like a couple other people in the class. It's like, fuck, these are all like new people, and then you got to go through like the meeting process again. It's a whole rigmarole. But seeing the podcast gives you a sense of who these people are and stuff, and it makes it, you're like, okay, these people aren't just fucking faces in the classroom. They actually have a soul. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You're not just, you're not. Oh, it's because you're not just student 1. You're not just student 2. You're like, oh no, it's fucking, it's Matt, it's Tyler, it's Ruth, and like all these other like. That's why I did like when I started like for a while, I was just throwing it out. I'm like, hey, just to let you know, if you want to come on the podcast, let me know. Like, I don't give a shit. But once I started getting people that can actually come in and help the broadcast stuff and like fluff it up a bit more, well, then I had a little bit more interest in people coming in. And then I had other people who, like, luckily Tyler and Matt are now working cameras and stuff. So now it's not just stagnant shots. Like, it's becoming this thing where I'm getting people who are actually interested and passionate about it, which then shows in the work, which then I can thank everyone for doing this. And then also, like, in all honesty, before this, I think before this semester, we maybe said like 4 or 5 words to each other. You know what I mean? And we wouldn't have known anything more. But you watch the podcast, you can kind of see more of who I am. And then I've seen some of your work, so then I can actually talk to you about it. And we find out, well, we actually have we're both very passionate about films. I thought I was a horror fan. You're blowing me out of the water with some of the stuff that you know, which I fucking love because we can talk about it. And then when we actually have you sit down and have an actual film podcast.
And that's the thing that's unique about this kind of stuff, because you're not just getting like people's opinions that are, you know, like just mainstream movie fans. You know what I mean? Like people that are like, "What's your favorite movie?" And they say Transformers, or they say like fucking, you know, insert random shit movie here. And then you're thinking to yourself like, wow, like what about, you know, fucking Akira, or like some like random anime movie from like Heavy Metal. The movie Heavy Metal. I will say this. I will go on record by saying there's not a better animated film than Heavy Metal, and there's not a better animated film better than one segment in Heavy Metal, the cab driving segment. I'll say this right now. I have a big obsession with the near future. Sort of like, you know, like where aliens and stuff, like it's almost like they're refugees, you know what I mean? So they're in, and it's kind of like, you know, you go to a bar, it's like the 50s, like there's this segregation and stuff, and there's like, oh, those fucking Martians and stuff like that, and like that's kind of what they did. So there's organized crime and all this shit. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Well, that's then like you see the full length versions of it with like District 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never seen that. Is that with the guy with the hand?
Yeah,
okay,
with Sholto Copley. Good film. Neil Blomkamp. Neil Blomkamp.
Yes.
Blomkamp. If you want to see some excellent, it's very CGI heavy, but he actually makes it with a budget. We'll say like it's still a lot. We'll say like he took a $30 million budget. He took those aliens, those prawns as they keep getting referred to in the film. And he turned a $30 million CGI fest, which could have looked like shit, into something so fucking realistic. It looks like those aliens belong in those scenes. Yes. He does such an amazing job with that. Watch that. That story's it's very similar to what you were just talking about with the cab scene stuff in the heavy metal segment. Or you could also go to the classic Enemy Mine. Oh my god, it's like Patrick. Oh my god, what's his name?
Stewart.
No, not Patrick Stewart. It's Quaid. Is it Dennis Quaid? Yeah, Dennis Quaid is the non-crazy Quaid.
Randy McQuaid is like the guy.
Randy Quaid's a crazy one, yeah. He's the one who's like running from the police and shit. But Dennis Quaid, I think it was Dennis Quaid who was in this film of like these two, a human and an alien who get stranded on an unknown planet, I think, and like they're both like very hostile and racist to each other, and they have to work inside this environment to like get back home safely and shit. Like amazing fucking like these like social undertones that you wouldn't think about of in a sci-fi film, fucking blown out of the park.
Oh, I gotta say something real fast.
Go for it, dude.
I never get a fucking chance to say this kind of shit anyway.
Dude, I'm telling you, come on the podcast and you can have a full segment on this.
Like, oh, fuck, now I just totally blanked. Okay, this is what I was gonna say, because I just thought of this. Like, so, talking about remakes and shit, what are, like, some of the movies that, if they get remade, you will not see?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future we got?
Yep.
I will never... Oh, if they did, okay, little side rant on this. They did this... Didn't they do a Shawshank Redemption? No, I'm thinking of Manchurian Candidate. They did a remake of that with Liev Schreiber.
Lord of the Rings.
The Godfather.
Oh God.
Years ago, when I was younger.
Jaws.
They can't. You can't. I mean, that's open water. That's like all those other.
E.T. is unmade.
Yeah, you can't.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
I remember years ago.
E.T.'s unmade.
Well, like they would never be able to capture the same magic as they caught in
Do you
E.T.
know why?
I'm not the biggest fan of E.T. or anything like that because it's not my style. Like, I appreciate the film. I think it looks amazing. Pulp Fiction is one I was gonna say. Like, what if they tried to remake Pulp Fiction? Like, you really can't, because that movie's one of those movies, no sequel. Like, it's self-contained. All of Tarantino's are like self-contained. Like, I love Quentin Tarantino. I think he makes great movies. Like, I know a lot of his shit is ripped off, and like the further I get into like these exploitation films, I'm like, wait a minute, that's fucking from this, and it's like.
Yeah, but
like, it's cool. He borrows.
Yes, he does homages.
Yeah, he steals from the best. Yeah,
he does homages. You know what I mean? He honors these films. Like Kill Bill is a straight up Japanese film. I can't remember what it's called anymore. Where it's like literally the main heroine is dressed in this yellow jumpsuit on a murder, like on a revenge spree.
No, Kill Bill is not based on, but is inspired by films like Lady Snowblood, fucking like Nikita, like these kind of like femme fatale type movies. Like a lot of these You know, there's a really great movie called Thriller, also known as They Call Her One Eye, from the 70s. It's one of the best rape revenge films of all time.
Is that like, it's also like on the original I Spit on Your Grave?
Yeah, that's a rape revenge film. And like, I know that sounds harsh to say I love rape revenge films, but I love films where someone gets fucked over really bad and at the end they get their say. And like, that's why I liked Django so much, like for a new one, because like, he went through all this shit and his wife is in that box, and like you feel terrible for him, and at the end he just takes off into the night with his wife, and it's slick.
That's kind of like The Departed. Yeah. Like in the end.
Well, like the end. Like how's that like The Departed?
Like the revenge part. The revenge part. I get what he's talking about. Like just the revenge part.
Oh, like
with Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon and shit. Yeah.
That was just like a fucking plot twist.
But
great movie though.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah.
There is a remake that they did, which I actually didn't mind that much. I don't know why I'm doing the pinky so much. Fucking proper.
Yeah. And then you fucking hear me, right?
Do some coke.
I don't got the coke nail. Come on. No, it's is it the last house on the left?
Last House on the Left.
They did a remake.
Yeah, they remade that.
Was it Jennifer Lawrence that was in it?
No, it was the chick from one of those Disney shows.
Elizabeth Winstead?
Maybe.
No,
I can't remember. But like, yeah, they actually they kept that one pretty fucking faithful. I found with the rape, with the revenge, and like they just the main guy who played the main baddie in there. I can't remember his name. But like I found they actually did a pretty decent job on that one for a remake of a classic horror film.
Don't get me wrong, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, the one that wasn't exactly a remake. It was a prequel. It was the Thing.
Yeah,
they did that.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that one from 2011.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
I didn't mind that one.
Holy fuck!
I did not mind that one.
Okay, I'll say this: the only part of that movie I liked was the joke that the guy told about the son goes to the father's room and the father and mother are having sex, and then he leaves and the father says, I gotta go talk to him, and he goes to the son's room. The son's not there, goes to the grandma's room, busts in the door, the son's given to the grandma, and he says, it's not so funny when it's your mom. That's the best part of that movie to me. I couldn't fucking stand that movie, man.
Connect. Interesting premise where I like the idea of it, where it's like, well, how did this happen? Well, this is how the events of the John Carpenter's thing happened. Like it kind of leads into.
We don't need to know. That fucking axe in the wall.
Yeah.
I never wanted to know why that was there.
It was just there.
It was just there. It's almost like I'm trying to think like of another example other than that.
The dog. They're the.
Why he's like.
All right, another example of in the Thing, or another example of a thing you wouldn't want to know in a movie.
A thing you don't want to know in a movie.
Okay.
Why is the turkey talking Thanksgiving?
Gobble,
motherfucker.
That's just like a clip, wasn't it? Like from Hobo
with
Grindhouse?
Like the Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
No, Thanksgiving was the.
That's a real movie?
Yeah, it's a real movie, dude.
Okay.
That is, and there's three or four of them now. Yeah, so they have Thanksgiving, and then they have Thanksgiving 3, which is. This part's brilliant in my mind. Thanksgiving 3 is technically Thanksgiving 2, and it's about them getting revenge on the film production company that was trying to make Thanksgiving 2, or getting revenge because they pulled it off the shelves. It's more like, and it's like dumb fucking like it's pretty much, I want to say, the Toxic Avenger to 1,000 degree.
Okay.
But I love the Toxic Avenger, like the fucking Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Okay, I'll say this because. Toxic Avenger, the first one, pretty goddamn good.
Goddamn right.
Class of Nukem High, even better.
They're doing a sequel to that.
They've done the sequel, Return to Nukem High, and then they're doing Return to Nukem High Volume 2. The thing with Lloyd Kaufman and like the Trauma movies, I appreciate them because they fucking do everything. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They don't hold
back. Yeah, they don't hold back. My problem is they're too goofy almost, you know what I mean? Like when I watch like my I want to watch like a super gory movie, like for instance, well, not even really gory, but I don't know why I thought of this, but have you ever seen the movie called I Saw the Devil? It's a Korean film.
No,
it just came out like 8 years ago.
No.
You need to see that shit. That's one thing that I know I'm all over the place, but one thing that people neglect, I feel a lot of the times, are foreign films. And the fact is, there's so many great foreign films out there.
The movie called The Host.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
That's another Korean film, right?
Yeah. Monster movie came out like 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
One of the most phenomenal monster movies I've seen in my life. It's just like this.
Train to Busan's
amazing movie. Yeah. Amazing movie.
Old Boy is also like the original. Like,
Old Boy. That was good.
Yes.
Was it called The Interview? I think it's called The Interview. It's like this. It's this Japanese woman who thinks she's going for a job interview, but it's actually this dude who lost his wife, and he's just trying to connect with someone again. But turns out this woman's like super fucking like out of her mind, and like it's one of the most realistic, gruesome, violent, like gore scenes you'll see in a film. I think it's called The Interview. But yeah, check it out, dude. It's fucked up.
Another like genre movies that get skipped over a lot are like martial art films from the 70s. I love those movies. 36 Chambers of Shaolin. Like I'm so into kung fu flicks. Not by choice. Not by choice. And the cheesier, the better for me. I'll fucking watch the biggest piece of shit that was like it's a 16 millimeter print that got filmed with VHS and then fucking uploaded on YouTube and then taken off in 360p. Yeah. That shit. If it's, because I just love the art. I love seeing long takes with lots of action. Kung Fu films, directors would pride themselves on the amount of punches or kicks or whatever they could pull off without cutting away. That would show how insane you are. Your guys are well trained, you know what I mean? Like the more shit that happens without cuts, the more you see,
the more impressive it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so this also goes in hand with the thing you talked about earlier, doing a callback with the editing. An editing action scene can look amazing, but it's also up to the editor too how much jump cuts they do, which then can look pretty terrible. Like a lot of people praise the fight scenes in the Bourne series. But there's a lot of fucking jump cuts, like cut in between the sets, right?
I imagine zoom, like stuff that's zoomed
very close, very handheld, right? Then versus, we'll say like John Wick. John Wick's fight scenes are further out. There's these beautiful, there's still cuts in between, but it's not as fast and it's not as frantic.
It's almost like Steven Seagal style, like John Wick, because like you said, everything's kind of far away with Steven Seagal flicks. It's almost like you always see his whole body.
Yeah, because his martial arts is like. His I think it's Aikido, is the style of like throwing your opponent's momentum away. So like it's a lot of these, like you have to see these flips, you have to see these hand motions for it to look real. Because if not, it's up close, like what just happened.
There was a video essay I watched a little while ago that talked about editing fight scenes, and it was talking about specifically how Jackie Chan did exactly that. Whenever he was in a movie, he would try to get the director to, or in the movies he has directed, he would always have the camera back and he would show everything. But whenever they would edit on a cut, what most movies do when they edit on a cut, when they take the cut on the hit or whatever, they'll have the hit going like this, and then they'll have the hit, but when the next clip they go on, it'll be in the same space going back, so you never actually see the hit. He would do the opposite. He would have the hit, but then he would also edit together so it starts again back here. So it goes from here to here and then goes again. So you actually see the hit twice.
This is not the longest podcast, by the way. I heard that. The longest podcast is like 2 hours. Yeah, like our longest podcast is like almost, I think it was over 2 hours.
That's not even long. I've watched 5-hour podcasts.
Like Joe Rogan, right? You motherfucker can talk forever.
Yeah, Joe Rogan is interesting, very interesting to listen to.
But so to talk about this film concept, directors who do right for like the cuts would be like the early on Wachowskis. Look at the Matrix, right? When Neo's fighting Smith in the subway, like these impacts, they're actual like hits, and like they would fluff up with the dust. Obviously, they were light. But with the sound and the way they would shoot it, it was like...
And with the wire work, once in a while they would hit them and then they would fly back. It all looks amazing.
I was just going to say that. Like that's an example of a movie that uses CG in a proper way. There's still so much fucking practical effects in that movie. It's unreal. And that's what CG, I think, personally, was meant for. It was meant to aid the practical effects. You know what I mean? Not like... Because, you watch these movies nowadays and it's just like a fucking... Xbox game you're basically watching with like an actor who's looking at a monster that's not even really there. It's just like a green screen kind of thing, and it takes me out of it.
This is the issue I have with the new Jurassic World, right? So when you look at the classic Jurassic Park, T-Rex tears down the fucking fence. CGI, I get that. The moment his head lowers and looks at the kids, animatronic. Yeah. When the T-Rex literally has his foot on the fucking thing and his head comes down to rip stuff out, animatronic. When he finally rips it off, it's 3D. Fine. Fucking Jurassic World with the E-Rex breaks through the door, it's fake. Eats the dude, it's fake. The only time they use an animatronic is when it had its snout on sniffing on the car, and fucking Chris Pratt cut the oil line and covered himself in oil. That's the only fucking time they use a fucking animatronic in a Steven Spielberg fucking film, or produced film now, where the belief was in the animatronics. The blend between CGI and animatronics was so fucking well done in the original one. That's why Jurassic Park still fucking holds up.
Exactly.
Drives me nuts.
Oh my god.
Look, man. Fucking Jurassic Park was a 93 film. That was my time as a kid. That was my fucking movie.
That was my favorite movie growing up too, by far.
Yeah.
It was Jurassic Park.
And this is also why I love. Yeah, thanks for the zoom in, guys. That's why I love fucking Back to the Future, because Back to the Future, as though there was special effects, was still done with practical fucking tools. It wasn't a complete CGI fucking DeLorean that was in the air. No, they had a fucking model of a DeLorean and like a blue screen set, and they turned it around, and like that's what they fucking did.
Yeah, miniatures were a big part. Like, you watched all the original Star Wars films, the
Yes.
Lord of the Rings films, heavy on the miniature sets. People don't utilize that enough anymore. And those, you can do so much with that stuff. You could create an entire city if you have the patience and time to do it. You could create something amazing with
that. The new Blade Runner did that. The new Blade Runner did the hell out of that. They had built an entire miniature city, probably in a room that was probably about as big as this studio.
Yeah, and they have the camera
Yeah, and they had the camera just like sliding like in between all the buildings, and then they just CG'd in the little car going the whole way.
If you want to watch someone who appreciates the way the films used to be made, or the way that films should be shot, like not should be like an appreciation for the old style, watch Blade Runner 2049, because in there too, there's an interview I remember watching of the cinematographer when he said this best too. When he came into like, well, what do you do for special effects and what do you do for the camera types and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I don't care what cameras I use. I could shoot this on an iPhone now and I can make this amazing. And it's like, and all the lighting was all practical, he said. So like, you know how like there's a big divide where you see like a lot of orange or a lot of blue or something. It's like that's 50-50 split. He's like, we did all that practical because that's how it looks believable. The moment you throw a night scene in a movie or in a film, this part's me now, this is not what he was saying, and you just add that blue tone, like, oh no, it's nighttime. No, motherfucker, it's not. We can tell when it's not fucking nighttime.
Yeah. Fury Road did that though.
Fury Road, but still, you could tell that it wasn't nighttime. They did an amazing job covering up, but you could still, by those blue tones, it's never that blue, like, it's never that blue.
Sure. But then again, I guess you could say that worked well because they made it look like it was in that world.
Yes, that artistic flair to it was perfectly done. I remember seeing the color correction between the original shot and then what they actually filmed, like what we saw the finished product, will blow your mind away. That's why you can never underestimate a colorist, an editor, the DP, all these things done. Fuck.
Another lost art is matte paintings.
Yeah.
Matte paintings used to be like in everything. Like if you love RoboCop, for instance, a lot of the city shots are matte paintings. They had a really interesting way of doing this stuff. And this is totally random, but with Disney, there was a lot of times they would paint on these pieces of glass, and to give something like a great field of depth, they would have the camera pointing straight down on all these slides, and they would pull them out one at a time and just keep putting the camera closer, and then it looked. Pinocchio is the reference I'm using right now in the beginning, and I just love that, man. I love like the matte paintings, like stuff like that, like totally hand done, everything hand done, instead of just kind of like clicking for like 8 hours. I'm not saying CG is easy to do. I know it's hard as fuck to do, but to me, it's just like I want to capture something like on like. I know my vision, and I know I can achieve it with like CGI and stuff like that. Like fake blood, like I have no problem if you got to use CG, use CG. But if you got to use fake blood, use real fake blood because it looks amazing
and it's cheap to do.
It's cheap as fuck, man. Cornstarch and water and my buddy had a really good recipe. I've been buying like this really good fake blood by a company called Cinema Secrets. And it's like $20 a bottle, but it's the best. It's not fake blood. It's called blood gel, and this shit fucking coagulates, and it like so dark because everyone knows blood is not like exactly like as red as that chair.
No,
it's kind of like
it's very dark. Yeah. It's very like mucusy almost, like especially when you get big clocks of it. Yeah.
And speaking of fake blood, like if you go back to the Dawn of the Dead from 1978, the blood in those movies in the 70s were so fucking red, but it looked so cool, man. Mm-hmm. Dawn of the Dead 78 is top 10 for me. Like I think it would be a cool thing to do, to have a couple people on here and then have their top 10 movies.
Yeah.
And then go through them. You know what I mean? Like your top 10 and then your top 9.
Oh,
That was one of the first things we did, kind of.
Is
we
it?
did it.
Yeah.
It was end of the year. It was like best movies of 2017.
Okay.
And we brought up our top. I think we did like our top 5 picks or something like that, and we talked about them. And
But I mean, like, was of the year you guys did?
yeah, but like I like
Okay.
your idea too, like
Yeah.
a top 10 of all time. Like
Yeah.
you bring in your movies, discuss it,
Yeah.
and like no one has to be like, well, that's a piece of shit. No, it's like just talk about it for the
Yeah.
love of film.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Ricky, on the official podcast that you're on, don't worry about it, dude. We're gonna be doing that kind of shit.
No, I think this is cool, man. Because some people get so butthurt about movies and stuff. Like, oh, you don't like this movie? Well, you're a fucking rapist, murderer. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like the Thing prequel or whatever, but I'm not gonna be like, I can never talk to you again. man.
Yeah, you disgust me.
Like, I'm gonna go puke in the corner or something. You know, like,
Yeah, dude, it's content. Go for it.
yeah, like we'll get that on the podcast. But yeah, man, because like it's a thing where like you have to have different opinions. If everyone's opinion's the same, it's boring as shit.
Well,
you
then
know?
you get the same fucking movie over and over
And
and
then
over
it's
again.
fun to ask. It's fun to be like, oh, why do you like that movie?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then you might be like, fuck, you know what? He's right. Maybe I'll watch that again with an open mind instead of being like, yo, I'm a Carpenter fanboy out the ass.
Yeah.
I love the original Thing. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Look. So we're gonna wrap it up soon. But it's on this idea. It's kind of the same idea where a lot of people, like, as an example, a lot of people shit on the new RoboCop that came out. I don't think it's that bad. It's not Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop. Don't get me wrong. Like, that was a fucking masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
It was perfectly passable movie.
Yeah, it was an okay film.
Who played RoboCop in that movie?
Joel Kinnaman.
Thank you. He plays Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Yeah, like he can look the part.
And he was in The Killing as well, and he was really good in The Killing. Sorry?
Yeah, he's in Altered Carbon. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah.
So I'm gonna use this time to get
for it.
off the screen. Let
All
these guys wrap up
Yep.
and all that.
Here,
Thanks for
final
having me.
plugs.
Final plugs. Bluntzilla video on YouTube and on Instagram, and my shit's gonna be playing at Shockstock the end of April. Come see it.
Once you have more details, let me know, and I would love to fucking plug it again, dude.
I would like that.
All right. Thanks,
Adios.
Ricky. Thanks, Ricky.
guys.
Have a good one, man.
All right. Now.
I'm gonna leave like I'm not actually leaving.
Yeah.
Just standing over there.
Yeah. So I do know that we're gonna wrap up now soon because this is a good length of conversation that we've had. Is there anything else that you want to touch on that we have in the topics?
On the topic of perfectly passable movies,
Yep.
I saw the new Pacific Rim.
Is okay.
It was.
Okay.
It kind of felt like similar to the old one, but like the story wasn't as good, and it just kind of like lacked the soul of the first
Okay.
one. It lacked that kind of fun. And there was you remember the one part in it where like the robot's arm or whatever is going through the building, and then it like zooms in down to the Newton's cradle and it starts doing that. There's one shot in this movie that tries to do the same thing, and it just falls flat. It
Okay.
falls completely
Right.
flat.
It's funny. I watched that not too long ago. I watched Pacific Rim with my wife because I'm like, the new one's coming out. Like I don't really remember much of it. I'll watch it. I wasn't a big fan of the lead actor in Pacific Rim.
Charlie Hunnam?
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan.
I
of
like
him.
Charlie Hunnam.
I just
like him
he
a
wasn't
lot.
for me. And then when I saw the Pacific Rim Uprising, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, John Boyega. Fuck yeah, John Boyega. Like, I'll fucking watch that. So passable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, passable. Same with the Tomb Raider.
See,
It's-
I
yeah.
was curious about that one.
Yeah, I watched it, and it it takes a while to kind of get into it. It does this whole like intro backstory to why because it's an origin story and all
Yeah.
that, and it just drags on too much. And you're watching it. And there's one kind of interesting like halfway action thing you're watching. It's like, oh, okay, I guess she's doing that. That's cool. Can she go run in the jungle for a little while now, please? And it takes a while to get there, but once it actually gets there, it
Okay.
starts being not bad.
I heard that if you played like the 2013 Tomb Raider, don't go watch the movie because that's pretty much what the movie's based off of.
I didn't watch it. I didn't play that
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, so I don't.
So
I don't care.
maybe now play the game and you might actually enjoy it.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. With that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been another exciting episode of the Select Start Network podcast. As always, if you want to support us, you can go hit subscribe. And I know joke a lot about this part, but if you actually want to stay up to date with what we do, you can go ahead and hit up the notification bell on YouTube. When the moment something comes up, either it's live or if it's a new video podcast, you can check it out. Thanks for the handles, even though I screwed up Colin Burns'
Insta
handle.
Colin C.
Burns, not Colin Burns.
C. Burns.
No more plugs for you, Colin Burns.
Yeah, you and your marathons and your cats can suck it.
But yeah, you go again.
Just say.
tpublic.com/user/SelectStar Network. All that fun jazz. And yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. And we'll catch you next time. There's the cheap plugs right there. I love it. Patreon, TeePublic, YouTube, it's all there. And as always, guys, we'll catch you next time. So thanks so much, Colin. Thanks, Ricky, again. Round of applause for Ricky. Everybody. Woo! Yeah, get right on that camera, buddy. You deserve it. Hey, what the fuck? Go with the black.
Come
what the fuck? Ricky gets on. He put on the black.
Hey.
All right, there you go. There it is. There he is. There he is. Hey, Ricky.
Like I said, 1795.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us for the Select Start Network podcast, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-da. Ba-ba-da-da-da. Yeah.
Don't count on me to let you know when.